I predict that AMD stock will soar 10% after releasing the earnings report and the earnings call as well. At the time of, this live stream, it's back. It's under $100 at $98.88. Year to date, it's down 18%. Now, I'll share here a couple of things. So yeah, with this prediction, we are, we're going to know whether or not the bold prediction is bold enough or not in a couple of hours. I'll share, I'm sharing my the slides here. So if we're looking at the options markets at the moment, they're pricing in around 8% move post earnings, so that can go up or down. I'm saying it's going up. Of course, if it goes down, then I guess I'll have a accurate prediction. But on the flip side, the analysts are expecting Q1 revenue to jump 30% year over year and adjusted earnings to rise over 50%, with data center sales forecast up 55%. So, I mean, my reason behind that 10% jump after earnings is not because of the gaming segment, is not because of the embedded segment either, which I'll show you right now. It's purely because of the data center side of things still doing very, very well, and the client side as well. This is what happened in 2024 compared to 2023. As you can see, data center and the client segment did very well. Of course, when you look at the profitability of the business, a lot of it, operating income comes from the data center side, but look at client. Client operating income was up over 2,000%. That's because it was a loss in 2023, turned into an operating income close to $900 million in 2024. Now, we have already seen Intel report a couple of weeks ago. It was a double beat for Intel, but still a very weak quarter, and guidance was even weaker. Now, what we've seen with AMD is that AMD is taking more and more market share from Intel, so I do expect stronger results from AMD compared to Intel. But like I said, I'm not focused on the gaming side of things. I think embedded and gaming are still going to be weak for the first half of the year, and then we're going to see a couple of tailwinds in the second half of the year. But right now, the focus is, of course, on data center revenue. If we look back at 2024, AI revenue for AMD was just above $5 billion. Then analysts were expecting that to more than double in 2025, then just double. And then I think right now, the average analyst expectations is for AI revenue to be around $8.4, $8.5 billion. I don't think we're going to get AI revenue for the full year just yet, but we might get some hints that it might be close to doubling that number from 2024, which means probably closer to $10 billion. And I think the market will react quite positively on that. This is what AMD expects to report, around $7.1 billion in revenue. Of course, we also know that a large part, now as a percent of overall revenue, does come from China. And we know that with the restrictions, they're going to get hit, around $800 million hit or so. Same thing with with NVIDIA. NVIDIA said they're also going to take a hit because of the new restrictions. But I do think that there is going to be probably some workarounds. Yes, you're going to take a one-time hit, but overall, I don't think the story is going to change. That much. If we're looking at what Wall Street is expecting AMD to do for fiscal 25, when we look at revenue growth, that's expected to grow 23.4%. And then they actually expect revenue growth to decelerate to 20.7% in 2026, and then just 14.8% in fiscal 2027. I think those numbers will be revised up, especially since the MI350 is going to launch mid-2025 and not in the second half of 2025. And then next year we have the MI400, which should be much more competitive to NVIDIA. Same will happen, I think, with free cash flow. I think these numbers are quite conservative, although they look very, very good. We're basically going from $2.4 billion in free cash flow in 2024 to 11.3 billion in 2027. Of course, these are the current expectations. Things can change in the next couple of years and next couple of quarters as well. But that's basically it. I think we're going to see AMD stock soar 10% after earnings.